Whenever I transplant young seedlings, one pest is always at the back of my mind: cutworms. If I see signs that cutworms might become a problem, I apply pyrethrum dust immediately after transplanting. I'd much rather protect my seedlings before I even lose one. In this case, while preparing this bed, I found one or two cutworms in the soil. In the evenings, I also noticed moths flying around the garden. Those two observations told me something important. Adult moths were present, and I had already found a few larvae in the soil. Rather than waiting for my seedlings to be cut down, I decided to protect them before any damage occurred. But before we go any further, let's first understand what cutworms actually are. Despite their name, cutworms aren't actually worms. They are caterpillars, or the larval stage of several species of night-flying moths. The adult moth lays its eggs on low-growing plants, weeds, crop residues, or on the soil surface. This depends on the species. When the eggs hatch, the young caterpillars begin feeding on nearby plants. During the day, they usually hide in the soil or beneath plant debris. At night, they come out to feed, and that's when they often cut young seedlings at or just below the soil surface. Young seedlings are most vulnerable during the first few weeks after transplanting because their stems are very soft and still quite tender. One of the easiest ways to recognize cutworms damage is by looking at the stem. If you find a healthy seedling lying on the ground with its stem neatly cut or just above the soil surface, cutworms are one of the first pests you should suspect. If you gently move the soil around the damaged seedling, you may even find the cutworm hiding nearby. Now let's talk about pyrethrum. Pyrethrum is a natural bioinsecticide extracted from the dried flowers of a type of chrysanthemum flower. These flowers naturally produce compounds we call pyrethrins. Now these pyrethrins help protect the plant against insect pests. And here's a fun fact that makes me incredibly proud as a Kenyan. For many years, Kenya has been one of the world's leading producers of pyrethrum. Many people ask why pyrethrum dust instead of a foliar spray. And the answer is quite simple. Cutworms don't usually feed on the leaves. They attack the stem where it meets the soil. The dust settles around the base of the seedling, exactly where cutworms are likely to crawl. So instead of treating the leaves, I am protecting the part of the plant that's actually under attack. Remember, pyrethrum is a contact bioinsecticide. That means the cutworm has to come in contact with it. It affects the insect's nervous system, causing it to lose normal movement and die. That's why applying it in the right place is just as important as choosing the right product. It's crucial that you apply pyrethrum in the late afternoon or early evening for two reasons. First, pyrethrum breaks down quite quickly in strong sunlight, especially UV light. Applying it later in the day means it's still active when cutworms come out to feed at night. Second reason, although pyrethrum is a natural bioinsecticide, it is also highly toxic to bees and other pollinating insects if they come into contact with it. By evening, bees have usually returned to their hives, so applying it then helps reduce their exposure. It's a small change in timing, but it helps me protect my seedlings while also being more mindful of the beneficial insects that help keep our gardens healthy. Pyrethrum is a valuable tool, and I don't use it unnecessarily. In this case, I applied it because I had already found cutworms in the soil and noticed the moths' activity in the garden. Good pest management starts with observing your garden. The goal isn't to apply more insecticide. The goal is to make informed decisions based on what you see. There are also other ways to reduce the risk of cutworms. As you prepare your planting bed, take a moment to inspect the soil. If you find cutworms, remove them before transplanting. If you're growing just a few vegetables, a simple cardboard or plastic collar placed around each seedling can also prevent cutworms from reaching the stem. For larger gardens, however, this quickly becomes impractical. Healthy seedlings don't happen by chance. They are a result of careful observation and acting before problems become serious. In this garden, I don't wait for pests to teach me a lesson. I observe, I understand the science, and then I make informed decisions. In my next video, we'll tackle another common vegetable pest and explore how to manage it using biological methods. If you liked this video and you found it helpful, please give it a thumbs up and share it with someone who might be interested in this kind of content. Subscribe to the channel as well if you haven't done so already. I will see you in the next video. Happy gardening!